Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm actually going to show you how I edit my videos from start to end. So I'm just going to talk you through the entire process from cutting all the way until exporting your videos and how I choose my music and my graphics and stuff like that. So first up, I'll teach you how to organize your files. And then second, we go into splicing. Splicing is actually just cutting up the videos. Third, we have music, how I get my music and how I choose them. Once you're done with the music, you gotta finalize the cuts, keep them clean and smooth. So we go into the final touches, we'll add the graphics, we'll do a bit of coloring, and then I'll show you how I export my stuff for YouTube. There'll be quite a lot of stuff to go through, so let's just start. So we'll start off by organization. So as you can see right here, I have 5 different folders right here. If I change the view, 00 clips, 01 music, 02 graphics, 03 sound effects, and 04 export. The reason why you actually add the number in front is so that the folder stays like 00 will definitely be on top all the time. So you can arrange them in any way that you want, but this is how I arrange them. In clips, you can just see that these are all the clips that I'm going to be editing today. Music, graphics, sound effects, there's nothing there yet, but we'll go through that slowly. So I'm just going to open up DaVinci Resolve. So in DaVinci, I'm just going to start a new project. So now that we are in DaVinci Resolve, it's quite straightforward. On the top here, if you click on DaVinci Resolve and then you click on keyboard customization, you can see all the stuff here, but the main things that I use are basically Q, W, and E. So on Q, you have trim start. You can program it to the same thing. On W, we have split clip, and then on E, we have trim end. And I'll show you why these 3 things are the most important things when editing your video. Instead of using the cut tab, we're going to go to the edit tab. So we're going to open up our folder here, minimize this, and then we are going to drag everything in this folder right into DaVinci. And then you want to drop it in the master tab, like the first one all the way to the left, and then just click change. So clicking on clips, we have everything here. I'm just going to drag everything, shift and select everything, and then just drag them into the timeline here. So usually when I open the project and I dump all the files in, the first thing I want to do is to save the project. It's Ctrl S, and I'm going to save it as YouTube edit test. You're going to want to trim all the clips to what you actually want to work with. If you watch my vlogs, you can see I always have a sequence at the front, which is like the intro of me going for breakfast or eating breakfast or something like that. So we're going to trim that first. So usually I like to just scroll through and then find the part where I walk in, and then I'll just press Q. So you see, trim start is, it will just bring up the files here to where your trim head is, and then you can click on the blank space and press X, which is ripple delete. Sorry, I didn't go through that, but yeah, if you program X to ripple delete, you can actually delete stuff from there. You can also use backspace. For example, now that I play and I like this clip of me walking, I'll press W. And what W does is, you can see it forms a line, allows you to continue making cuts with the trim start and trim end. So usually for the start, I like to do something called the jump cut. So I'll just skip to the next action. So I'm scrolling the timeline through, just dragging my mouse, and then here's me at the kitchen removing stuff. Okay, and then the second action. And then third action is me playing with Poppy. So I'm going to cut that out. Then continue using the mouse to drag the playhead to another action. So at the start now, all you want to do is just to create short clips, right? And then remove the parts that you don't want to. So the other way you can cut quickly without ripple deleting is actually to press T. When you're on the trim editing mode with T, and you actually use trim start, the Q shortcut that I provided you with, it will actually bring the entire sequence forward. Let's say I choose this clip and I find another one, and then press Q again under the trim edit mode, and then you can see. So that's the 2 ways you can do it. So I think I roughly have enough here, so I'm just going to find one more clip as extra, as backup. I'm putting ice into the cup. T, trim edit mode, and Q again to bring it forward. Leave that clip for a few seconds, and I'm going to trim the end with E. So with E, bam, the end is gone. So we have this clip of me in the lift. I like this. I'm so sleepy. I'm gonna leave it for a while. And I don't need this part, so I'm just gonna trim end. And then I have a clip here of me actually riding on the bike. I'm gonna flip it, change the rotation angle, then find a portion that is nice, like maybe here. I'm gonna press T, go into trim edit mode and trim start, Q. So I have this clip starting like that. And then I like this portion, so I'll press W once to create a cut, and then find the next start of the next portion that I want to, which is rolling off from the area, right? And then T and Q one more time. So usually when you're cutting cycling videos, you don't want to show like a sequence that is too long, especially if there's nothing happening. You want to skip further in front, right? So I can just really skip to a portion that I'm either talking or something is happening. So here, talking. So again, just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna keep it very quick. So this is just me saying, it's so cold. And then I'm gonna skip forward to a segment that looks different, maybe this tunnel. And then P and Q to trim it to this. Then we have a tunnel shot. Probably end the clip when the tunnel ends, so W. And then we have that clip in the tunnel. This part is quite similar, so I'm just gonna skip it, watch to the end by scrolling through. And it's boring, so I'm just gonna cut that out. So you're basically just gonna want to go through this real quick using the same method. Basically, that's the whole sequence from breakfast into riding to the lab, and I have almost all the clips that I want. So maybe we'll just end it before we roll off for the next segment. I don't need the rest of the clips, so we're just gonna select all of that and then delete them. So all the music from my channel is actually from Artlist, and I've been using Artlist since the start of the channel, and even with my commercial video projects. I am very happy to announce that I'm also an Artlist partner and a motion array partner, so subscribing with my affiliate links will give you extra 2 months of subscription. If you go onto our Chrome browser now, under home, what I like to do is I actually like to play the songs that they recommend every day, just so that I don't miss anything. So for example, like so it's quite nice. I kind of like it, so I'm just gonna download it. So I usually just download a MP3 file because it's smaller. I'm just gonna go to the folder. I'm gonna save all these under the second folder, which is funny, that is called number 1 folder. And I'm gonna listen to the next song. This is nice, but it's a bit too fast for like the intro. I don't like this. So when you're finding your song, you want something that doesn't sound like an advertisement, right? You want something that sounds weird, or you want something that sounds not normal. You know, it doesn't have to be nice, it can sound weird, and I don't know, you just have to feel out the vibe. Like that one, this song. I mean, it's interesting, but it doesn't sound good. It sounds too mainstream. We are going for like something like funky. Yeah, this one sounds like an ad. Okay, so you hear this song. It is a country sounding song, but it kind of sounds interesting, and it's not too crazy, or it doesn't sound too weird. I think it's buyable, so I'm just gonna download this. Okay, this is a good example of what commercial music sounds like. Don't you think you can hear some ad like on YouTube playing now? Like, these are 10 ways to increase your business. Okay, there are 2 cheat code kind of things that you can use for your videos. One of them is called Latin. So you just search Latin music, and I like to also have another filter, acoustic music. And then most of the time, these are like cheat codes because they work with almost everything. So I'm gonna show you how that would work. I'm downloading that. And then the second genre is called chill beats. And then they usually fall under this thing called lo-fi and chill beats. So I'm just gonna click that. And then these are also all like cheat code music that you can use. Oh, this is actually sick. Now that we've got all our music, if we go back into DaVinci, so I'm just gonna have to drag that in. Okay, once I have all my music, the cheat code methods that I want to show you is firstly, the Latin music. I think it's this. So for example, like at the start of the video is always something more chill, right? Like using Latin music is something that is not so serious. So you see, it works. You just play through and then just watch. So it kind of works, right? The second one that I was telling you about, which was the cheat code, is chill beats. So chill beats. See? It kind of works as well. And by the way, chill beats are most of the beats that you watch on YouTube, like a day in the life and like vlogs and stuff like that. But we are not normal, so we are gonna choose the song that we chose ourselves. Okay, for example, I have this song, The Hunt's Love of Mine. I'm gonna put that in. As you can tell, it works. It's like a bit romantic and stuff. After you drag in the song, there's always like a starting portion. We're gonna want to trim that, so we're gonna hit Q and then move the track here. So as you can tell that it's just nice on the beat. And then it cuts, right? So I don't have to change that cut, but the next one, it might miss. You can tell, it cut too early. So we're gonna press T, and then if you position your mouse on the edge of the clip, actually this thing looks like that. Like it has to be this. If you hold it and you drag it, you can drag it to the cut. So again, if you can watch, so it missed the beat again, so we're gonna go there and then we're gonna trim N. So we're gonna do the trim edit mode T and then trim N E, and then it goes like that. So see, the cuts are perfect. It's like making music, although I can't make music. Like here again, we're just gonna look at the wave file, and then we're just gonna roughly do the trim on the wave file and listen while we edit. And then, oh, just nice. I don't want the music to go up so quickly, so I'm just gonna cut it there. It can just be a quick cut and end there, right? And there you have it. We have an intro done. So what we're gonna do, we are gonna cut the sequence from my home all the way to the lab. And you want it to be a bit more interesting, right? So one of the songs here will work again. As I said, it was this Abigail song that I wanted. Check in the Abigail song. Same thing, there's like an intro here. We're gonna trim that. My cue, looking at the audio wave file. We're watching from the end again. I'm so sleepy. Silence, and then every time it booms, we're gonna cut it. Morning, guys. It's so cold. I'm gonna leave that tiny portion just for you to feel the music a bit more. Morning, guys. It's so cold. Oh, as you can see, I pointed the camera down before I enter the tunnel, but I don't want that. I want the camera to point up. So I'm gonna start from the second portion here. So what we're gonna do, trim edit mode T and trim start. Let me watch that again. Morning, guys. It's so cold. Oof. And then, okay, like for clips like that where it's so noisy, click on the track itself and then go onto the top here, the top right. There's another portion here that you can go under. This is like track level edit. So what you want to do is just turn on voice isolation. I like to throw on like 20%. And then you cut out that wind noise and extra noise. Then you can actually edit in peace. We don't need this to be so long, so we're just gonna run through with the music and cut it again. Here I did it on a tiny like the guitar sound instead of the beat, like bang, ding, then bang. So this is where I want the song to kind of end, so I'm just gonna trim end and then I'll pull out this tiny thing over here just to fade. So yeah, I think it'll end nicely at the portion where I just reached the lap. So there you have it, man. We have 2 sequences done real quick. Now that we're done with like the first sequence, what we want to do now is just finalize the cut. So usually what I like to do is just watch through it like a few more times, just get a feel of it. When I talk about finalizing the cut, when you're watching it quite a few times, you tend to notice the areas or the times that people get bored. During these portions where you feel that there's a bit of like loss of interest, you just want to finalize the cut even more. And done, we're done with the sequence. So you can repeat this step, finalizing the cut, as many times as you want. You can just keep editing, watching through, going through, just making sure that the cuts are like super nice. And you can repeat this step as many times as you want. There's no right or wrong in this process, it's just how you want to do it. So don't be too hard on yourself and tell yourself that it's wrong or it's not that nice. Just feel it, go for it, and don't think so much about it. Like the next step will be to add in some graphics, right? And we are going to be using motion array here at the start. Like I would usually add the day of the vlog. So for example, let's say this was a Monday. So what I can do is I can go to Chrome, I can go here, I can go into motion graphics. And then under motion graphics, there are a lot of things that you can do here. There are a lot of templates which are really cool. The most of the time I find myself using motion graphics. And then when I click there, what I like to go for, especially this, is animated letters. In my head, I kind of imagine like something scribbly and stuff like that. So we're just gonna scroll through and look for that. Like you see, this cartoon thing is pretty cool, right? So I'm just gonna download this. Once you download, I'm just going to extract this, and where I'm going to extract it, I'm going to extract it under graphics and click OK. These are all alpha letters. So for example, under here, if I want to spell out Monday, fix, I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this animated scribbles and drag these 2 under animated scribbles. And in here, I'm going to drag that under graphics. So you see now in DaVinci, under graphics, if I scroll down, I have animated scribbles and I can go into letters and then just watch the letters play through here. So we're going to spell out Monday. We're going to start with M. I'm going to hold Shift and scroll down to make it smaller so I can see everything. So M-O-N-E-A-Y. As you can tell, like, they're all like sponged up over here. So what I like to do is I just like to throw on the position when they're all in frame. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's off center, we are gonna correct that now. We are just gonna select everything. We're gonna hit N and then name this Monday and hit enter, like that. And then it's too big, since it's a compound node now, we can like shrink it just by doing this. And then just roughly position it in the center. And then that's it. Over here, since there's like a transition in music, we can add like something to help transition that. Under effects here, we're gonna click that, pull this up, and under effects, titles, we're just gonna drag a text plus right on top here. And then let's just say riding to the lab. And then that's all the graphics that I want to add. We have to actually color the videos. The good thing about DaVinci is we have many tabs. We're just going to jump into the color tab. We're going to just create 3 nodes. Okay, the first node, we're going to label this as levels and exposure. The second node, we are going to call this base LUT. And And then third note, we're gonna call this the color LUT, C LUT. Okay, you just want to keep it real simple, like especially for vlogs. Like when you're starting out, you try not to do something too stylized so you don't spend too much time on the grid. For my base LUT, I'm using the DJI Osmo Action 4 LUTs. These were just downloaded from the website. I'll link them below. I'm going to throw that on, and then I'm going to do the base adjustment from now. So as you can tell, this is like too dark. You can't really see my face with the base LUT. So I'm just going to go under the offset wheel here, the bottom, and then I'm just going to pull this up. So this is a level that I like. It's pretty bright enough to kind of see my face. Let's close the LUT pool here. You can tell, you can see everything real nice. So this is the before, disabling the node, super dark. I just put up the offset and it's pretty nice now. Once you're done with that, you're gonna want to have a color LUT. I have the Blackmagic battery LUTs thing. This is not for the camera itself, but I can just throw this on and then adjust the gain if it's too much. I just want a light color change here. And then that's basically it. As you can tell, if I zoom in here, these areas are too bright. So under the levels, you can choose to create one more. So mine, the shortcut for adding a node, serial node, is alternate S. I have one more here. I'm just gonna label this as shadows and highlights. And in this tab, all I want to do is just pull down the highlights a bit so it's not too bright. And then maybe just push up the shadows slightly. So I'm pretty happy with this grade. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into. And then we can try just copying this and pasting it. There's not much contrast here, so under the shadows and highlights, I'm going to reduce that. And you can tell it's kind of back to normal. If I paste it on every single clip, when you copy and paste the clip, want to watch through and just make sure that there's nothing too jarring. They should all roughly look the same. Okay, and then you saw that. As you can watch this sign, you can tell that, oh shit, this is like way too dark. So again, under this tab, we're gonna pull up the offset. And if it's pulling the shadows too much, you can stop at where, for example, you can tell that it's becoming white, right? The blacks are becoming white. You don't want that. So you want to pull it up. You want to pull the offset up to a limit where the blacks are still black, and then maybe just pull up a bit of the shadows just to make it slightly brighter. And again, like the blacks now look like it's pulling up too much, so I'm just going to reduce the offset again. So yeah, if you watch the previous clip, it's not too bad. This looks a bit too dark, so I'm just going to pull up the offset and then watch again. So they roughly have the same look.
I still have time to eat something.
Ta-da! The grade is more or less there. The same thing here. You can run through and watch the video a few times to get the grade to whatever you like. And now we have to add captions. Basically, you are going to want to mute the music track, and then under timeline, you're gonna create subtitles from track. And then I usually just select Netflix and then keep the gap between subtitles to 0, 42 characters per line, and then create. Just let DaVinci do its magic. Ta-da! It's done. So as you can tell, like, this is totally not what is happening, squeaking. And then what I like to do is under track here, I'm just gonna click on track. I'm just gonna select the font that I like. Let's just go with Helvetica. And then bold it and change it to yellow. Oh, sorry, this is stroke. I want to change the color. And then I don't want any stroke, so as you can see, it's too big. I'm just gonna bring it down. Go on top here, on the right, these 3 dots, you can right click and save track as preset. So you see I have a couple of presets here. You can just save it as a track preset. So next time you can just select it from here, like YouTube. Or if I go YouTube SF and something like that, I have a lot of presets here. Sorry, I missed out this step. This is supposed to be called mixing. You're gonna want to level the audios. I'm gonna select my music tracks. I'm gonna hold alternate and down arrow to shift them down one track. And what I like to do is I'll click on the song, I'll go into track view, and then under track view, you're gonna want to select darker. If there's an audio track on the track that you list here, like source, if I put under audio 2, the dark will basically just push down the level of the music whenever there's like a soundtrack on audio 2. I hope that makes sense. For example, I'm so sleepy and I want it to be reduced. Going to track view again, the dark level is like, for example, if it's at 2.7, it means that it's minusing 2.7. I usually like to set this at 10. We are going to go into Fairlight, which is the audio tab. I'm going to hold shift and scroll up just to make the tracks bigger. And then for example, I'm so sleepy, like this, I want it to be on track 2 because I want the audio to dip. You can tell the audio went down. You basically want to be able to hear everything, so how you can tell is when you look at the levels on the top here. So for example, like you can tell the 2 levels like music and talking are the same, so you're gonna want to drag it to the dark.
I still have time to eat something.
You can tell this whole chunk here are like chunks of talking, and I can level them all slightly, and then instead of doing them under the dark, I can choose to add a keyframe from here, the end of this first one. I'm gonna hold alternate. As you can see, the cursor has changed to a plus sign. We're gonna add that. And then bro, check this out. We want the audio to roughly go lower here. Inspector. And then we'll just scroll to the part where we talk, and then we're gonna reduce the volume of the music to minus like 7 or 8. Because we still want to hear the music, we don't want it to be so low like minus 10 this time. So there are many ways to treat your sound, but what I like to do is just under EQ, I'm just gonna throw in a male left finisher. And then under dynamics, you can also add another effect called the compression. And then the aim of the compression is you kind of want it to, you can tell like for the talking, you don't want it to be too much, you just want it to be at the level where you're talking. Just to cut off like the unwanted sound. So now that you have done the last step of roughly just leveling all the audio files, we can move on to the last thing, which is to export. So for example, if I jump into Deliver, I usually like to save it as H264 master. I just click that. I don't change any of the things here except for subtitle settings. You have to tick on export subtitles and then select burn into video. That will make sure that your subtitles are in the video, not as a separate file. So after you're done, you can just add to render queue. Select a place where you want to export it. For me, it's under here in our folder. We are just going to go under exports and save the title, YouTube test, save it, and then we'll just click render all for it to go and process thing. I'm so sleepy!
Morning, guys. I still have time to eat something.
Bro, check this out. I don't even know how much each has. Okay.
Each packet has 23 grams, so this is like 52 grams, bro.
Oh damn.
How many you caught?
Oh damn.
How many you caught?
How many what?
How many worms?
Worms?
Only bird are you?
Hey damn. You throw away your bike.
So yeah guys, that's basically my entire workflow from start to end. I hope by going through the different sequences and how I actually go through my workflow would help you in some way. I'm actually looking at maybe doing some live editing sessions with you guys, like maybe that will be in the future. I can leave you my links, affiliate links for Artlist and Motion Array if you want to try out a subscription down there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you once again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.